Hi guys, Mark here. How you doing? Hope you're well, and if you're a fellow CL owner like me, I hope that you're having fun in your CL wherever you are in the world. Just a quick update. I don't know if you saw the video that I posted recently about the ABS, sorry, not the ABS, the ABC system, which had the white light on and then went to the red light. I went to the garage, they checked it out, and there was nothing immediately obviously wrong with any part of the system, but the pump, again, I don't know if you've seen older videos of mine, there's this dreadful resonance that sounds like someone's hoovering around this side of the car, and that's all connected to the pump. About 2 years ago I was losing quite a lot of fluid from the steering. I had a steering kit fitted. Never had any issues since then, but I think something obviously happened to the pump at that time and created some noise in there, and I think the pressure's been affected. And so subsequently, over a period of time, and I should have got it done last year really, I just didn't kind of do it at the time. I think I was looking at options for for the sort of most cost effective way of doing it. And also, if you're just wondering why I'm sitting on this side of the car, it's because the sun is kind of up there, and it wasn't very good light. I looked in the shadows. So anyway, the pump. So what's happened since then is I took it to the garage, they checked it out. They reset it and I used it and it was okay, then it wasn't, then it was okay again, and it seems like whenever you start the car up it resets the system, and then if it comes back on it creates the malfunction. So thankfully, touch wood, there wasn't any major issues in it, just something that I knew that I had to do anyway and I should have got done a while back. So EBC system is one of the things which I know puts a lot of people off, and thankfully the prices of all these things have come down now, and in Northern Europe certainly you can get these pumps reconditioned. So what I did, I went on eBay, I got in touch with a guy who's based in Poland who does a rebuild on the pumps, and good price, under 200 euros or around 200 euros, and there's an additional fee for an exchange unit which he will refund once I've had all the work done. So I'm waiting for the pump to turn up. I've got a list here of stuff, that's how bad it's got. Parking sensors haven't worked properly since someone not only rolled down a ramp in the supermarket and hit the front of the car, which probably just confused the hell out of it, but then someone backed into the car and pushed one of the sensors in. So when I had the big service done in June, where are we now, just start of September, I got to take the bumper off, refit all that. But the parking sensors weren't working, so I've ordered a second-hand parking sensor module from a chap in the UK, so that's on its way. And also, my car's right-hand drive. I live in Spain, as you probably know if you've seen any of my other videos, and I've been at the process of importing the car, which seems to have just taken forever because documentation you need to do that wasn't up to date. I had to renew my foreigner's certificate, if you like. Then I had to go to the police station to update something else, and then by the time I'd done that and waited for the appointment and had that done, something else I needed was out of date, so I had to go to the town hall to tell them I still live here. So it's been a bit of a catalogue of events, and then finally I got my test date and I went down there and I had the car prepared with everything except for the lights, which obviously, right-hand drive, and you're driving on the left, your headlights are pointing over that way to the curb. But in Spain, or in Europe, or probably 90% of the rest of the world, that's facing into oncoming traffic, so I need them to point that way. It's a 2000 model year car. Apparently on the 2004 and later cars, there's something inside the lights, you can change that and it changes the direction, but unfortunately this doesn't have them. So I tracked down through breakers in Spain. There's actually quite a good system where you can go online and they all kind of connect to that and let you know if there's any parts available that you're asking for. And so someone up in sort of middle of Spain's got a right set, well sorry I should say the right side, and I found in Germany a left side, so I'm waiting to kind of bring all those together. So I've got my pump on the way, my parking sensor module is on the way. I've also, because these haven't gone down since I bought the car, which is a real shame, it's like one of the features of the car, finally got round, I tracked down and did a deal with the guy for the rear window module, so that's on its way, and my headlights are hopefully coming together. So within the next few weeks I hope to have a car that I can tell where I'm parking, that's passed its Spanish MOT, and is reasonably quieter than it has been without the sound of the vacuum. I'll do an update with the costs on that, and you know, but to be honest with you, I know there's all these kind of warnings about ABC system, but to be honest, and I hope, you know, touch wood again, I'm not tempting fate here, but to be honest, you know, these cars are so cheap to buy now. What you've got to decide is, you know, do you want to spend 3 or 4 or 5,000 or whatever on a car? I mean, in the UK, you know, I've seen these for, you know, anything from 2,500 to 4,000. And, you know, what else can you buy for that that's this much fun and has got this much class and is so fun to drive and that you can just go anywhere? You know, you could spend 15 grand on a new Kia. You know, it might cost you a little bit to run this, but the pump's going to be about 300 euros maybe. You know, it's going to cost 150, 200 to fit or whatever. Pipes aren't that expensive. You know, it's just not that much money in the grand scheme of things if you're going to go and spend 300 quid a month on a brand new car. So I think that's the factor that a lot of people, you know, they weigh up. And the most common thing I get asked in all the videos and the comments is, how much does it cost to run? And so like they tie that in with the fear of running the ABC system. How much does the car cost to run, or what kind of advice would you have? General wisdom kind of says that you should look at service history, but I actually disagree with that, because the problem is the day-to-day driving of the car is much more important. You know, I worked in the motor trade for quite some time. I worked, as you may know if you've seen other videos, I worked for Jaguar, I worked for Mercedes, I worked for Land Rover, and you know, the car is only as good as how it is at this point in time. So this car had a big fat file of service history. The mistake I made when I bought it was I should have gone and driven it, but I'm in Spain, it was in the UK. I spoke with the guy, he assured me that, you know, as far as he knew, everything was okay. But, you know, there were minor things that have kind of gone wrong or niggled since, and no one can predict that. And the mistake I made is I should have had a, you know, proper report on it. If I'd have spent 100 quid on a guy going and checking the car out and telling me all the problems, I would have saved a grand, 1,500 easy. So that is a hard pill to swallow in terms of, you know, that if you've got, I don't know, say you've got 4 grand to go and buy one of these, you know, you've got to go around and check all these cars. It's time, distance, money, you know, to go and find the right car and check it out and see what you think of it. But, you know, it really is worth spending 100 quid to get the AA, the RAC, an independent mechanic or someone who knows these cars to check it out in its current state. Okay, service history, just because it had a new pump 2 years ago or 10,000 miles ago, it doesn't matter. If that car's been sat in a garage and used once every 3 months, it's not going to help. And the same for other niggly things. You know, you can look at service history and go, I had all this stuff done, but if the car hasn't been used, or it's been used, you know, badly, and I don't mean driven particularly badly, but, you know, say it's in a rough part of the world and it suffers, you know, from corrosion for the metallic stuff. I mean, the body's good, but, you know, chassis parts and stuff like that, they all suffer. So spend the money on paying someone, just bite the bullet and pay someone 100 quid to check a car out for you, because I promise you it could save you thousands. I think I've spent as much on this car as it costs to actually buy, which is fine. You know, some of that's bad luck, some of it is just running costs, like tyres. You know, you need tyres, servicing, you need servicing. But, you know, I could have done without having to repair the air conditioning and change the radiator. And now the pump, that's, you know, happened maybe since the steering rack has a fault in there. There was an airlock or something, I don't know, losing fluid regularly. But either way, you know, I've spent a considerable amount on this car now. I don't mind it. I write it down over a period of time. I've had it 2.5 years now, and I love the car. Oh yeah, and the radio still doesn't work. I'm looking for an amplifier. And my Distronic system keeps turning itself off every now and again and telling me the sensor's dirty. I cleaned it. I guess, you know, I need to get a new sensor or replace that. So, you know, my advice is check these out. They're fun cars. Be prepared to pay for some running costs. If you can't afford to run a car, do not buy one of these. Get yourself a Ford Fiesta diesel and, you know, just enjoy that. Otherwise, if you're into your cars and you just fancy one of these for a bit of fun, go for it. So anyway, I'll do another video. Sorry I haven't done so many. I really intended to do some you know, well, a lot more actually this year, but I just seemed to be busy, and I was just actually working on my computer indoors, and I thought, oh, I need a break. And I thought, oh, I know what I'll do. It's 31 degrees. I'll go sit in a car with black leather. But anyway, I'll keep you updated with all the bits as they turn up. So I've got my Spanish ITV, as it's called, which is the equivalent of the MOT from the UK. Got to get that through and get all the parts fitted. So when they all turn up, they're all coming from different places in the world. So God knows when they'll be here. Spanish Post is not renowned for its fantastic speed, particularly. So signing off. Have fun. If you've got a CL, enjoy it. Give me some comments. Give me some feedback. If you're looking for one of these and you know still want some tips or advice or whatever, I'll try and help. You know, I'm not an encyclopedia of these cars, but say I know them pretty well. And most of all, have fun. Take care out there on the roads, and I'll see you next time. All the best. Thanks for watching, and thank you for subscribing. All the best. See you next time.